Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I am Tom Connors. Welcome to the program. Thank you to all of those heading over here from WDW Pro's program. We appreciate that. Welcome one and all. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, what is it today, Thursday?
All Thursday. Day? It is.
It's 420. I'm so out of it, I don't even know anymore.
What's 420 mean?
The 20th of April?
It is the 20th of April, Michael.
Okay.
It's Taco Day.
Yes, it's Weird Taco Day. We'll call it that.
Really weird taco.
Don't
now I want a weird taco.
Tell him what it really is. Anyway.
What, National Jumping Out a Window Day or some weird thing? What?
Yes.
No, yes, sure. Why not?
As our window jumping specialist, I would think you would know about your most important holiday.
We're off the rails already.
While Tom finishes cooking his burger, I'm going to introduce our esteemed panel.
Yeah, why don't you do that? That's
okay.
A good distraction for you.
We are joined by an esteemed panel. First of all, we are excited to have the great Clobbering Times.
Hey, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction. Good to see you, my friends on the panel. And hello, wonderful friends in the chat. Let's have some
Clobby, I call
tonight.
you the broadcaster of broadcasters because you have such a smooth radio voice and you can just run these live shows that you do, whether you got a bunch of people on it, yourself. Man, I could just listen to you for hours and do listen to you for hours.
Oh, dude, I'm honored and I'm blushing over here. Thank you, buddy.
So romantic.
A consummate professional.
Thank you, buddy.
Loving Clobby is wrong. I don't want to be right.
I don't know what to say.
And I'll never do karaoke. But what I will do is introduce the great CC Karaoke, a man who I probably listened to for, God, at least 2 or 3 years before I was like, and then I remember when he popped up in a live stream, like, oh my God, that's a great CC Karaoke. And here we are.
Here we are. One
Then
day,
he said he wanted to
definitely
do
going to get, yeah.
Hey, Mike, if there's any opportunities for streaming, can you let people know I'm available? Okay, no problem. You're in.
True story.
Yeah,
One day we'll get you to sing some karaoke.
Yeah, CC did that to me too. He said, "Hey, you ever want to have me on?" I was like, "Yes." It was that fast, so I don't think he was quite prepared for that. Were you, CC?
No. I held off a long time before asking because I was like, "Nah, you really shouldn't ask. You should be asked." And then I was like, "Okay, I'll try asking. See what happens."
Okay. And a man who needs no introduction because he's on 437 live streams per week and live streams, I believe, in excess of 96 hours from Sunday through Friday, but take Saturday off. So the fact that he's able to do that, he is the man of live streams, the king of live streams, the streamer amongst streamers, the channel of channels, the Great Culture Casino.
Well, thank you, Mike. That was wonderful. Wow. I have to say that you put me on the spot the other day about that over on Loki's show. I didn't actually realize that I stream almost as much as you do.
What? No, no.
I'm not even.
I'm not. Dude, okay, hold on.
Look.
Okay, we're not gonna get an argument yet because I'm just happy you're here because we're streaming together, and I don't want you to leave after 20 minutes when you realize Andre or Mr. H aren't here. So no, I want to, because getting us together on the same freaking screen is like never happens. Rarely. Well, it does happen on the Loki Late Show. But rarely.
Well, hey, look, I'm telling you right now.
I do not stream more than you. That's bullshit. Especially not the last 6 weeks.
No, sure. I know you've been working hard, and to be fair, I mean there are days like today. Today's my full day. I was just saying in the background that Thursday has turned into the day that I'm in like 100 different places. But you know what? I know a guy that would be in more places if he could be, and it's the guy that just joined us over here. He's
Nick Weiser, 32 flavors, not 30, not 29, not 31, and never 33. 32 flavors of Nick Weiser, my longtime friend. Dating back to, God, I don't even know when I first met you. I think it was like in
the early Latino slant days when
the early Latino slant days when you guys would do those watch party stuff.
Yes. Hello, Mike, Culture, CC Karaoke, Clobby, and Tom. Happy to be here. Hello to the Midnight's Edge After Dark chat, and of course to our excellent wrenches. Thank you guys for your service. Yeah, obviously we got a bevy of topics, as I like to say. I'm just ready to hit it.
A bevy of topics. Well, you know, one thing that we have, I guess, some factual knowledge. So I guess I'm being told that 420 is the holiday to celebrate expensive cilantro, according to irate specialist. I didn't know. I didn't know cilantro was expensive. Wait a minute. I know what 420 is. Oh, I know what this is.
National Window Jumping Day.
No, it's the
Yeah.
no, it's the weed thing. But see, I don't smoke weed, so I wouldn't know about that. That's why I don't know.
that.
Okay. All right. I see how it goes. That's how it goes. And of course we have the great Tom Connors. Well, let's welcome everybody that we've got in chat. We got over what we got. We got 300 people in the chat. I won't be able to hit everybody, but I'll try to hit as many people as I can. Hail Gary, welcome to Keith, welcome to Gunner. Great to see you. My buddy Rebel Dragon is here in the house. FKHC 2005. Darcipio's here. Of course, our great wrench DB Martin is here in the chat. BLT. Oh, we've already got a super chat from the Waltman, $2 super chat. But Tom, BuzzFeed News has shut down. Yeah, is that true?
Yes.
Did BuzzFeed shut down? When did that
See,
happen?
senorita. In fact, all of BuzzFeed News shut down. They took out all of the staff, which was a substantial portion of their company. But BuzzFeed as an entity is still around, but it's not going to have news anymore.
But
And
I thought all BuzzFeed was news.
No. They like to make you think that. Now, mostly it's entertainment and listicles and dumb junk. And I mean, honestly, even their news was kind of, articles that were dumb junk. But yeah, peace out.
The New York Times reports today BuzzFeed News, which dragged media into the digital age, shuts down a quirky upstart that became a Pulitzer Prize-winning operation. Is that true? Fell prey to the punishing economics of digital publishing. Wow.
Hey, and as a brand, do you realize they actually own the Huff Post, amongst other things?
Well, does that mean the Huffington Post isn't going to be around anymore?
Well, no, but I mean, eventually we'll get around to it, I imagine.
Oh, no. What will you do if there's no Huffington Post?
Yeah.
I don't know.
back.
How will we survive?
Holy crap! Culture's still here.
Yeah, hi.
That's what. That's so funny you said that because of what I told him a minute ago. I told him that I was going to be nice to him so that he didn't leave in the middle of the show like he usually does. We just read we got super chat from the Waltman, Tom, for $2. It says BuzzFeed News shut down. So I was just sharing that article, but I'll take it down off the screen.
I heard. That was
But Scott
interesting.
Westbrook just gifted 5 Midnight's Edge After Dark memberships.
Yay!
Justin B got a membership. Unlimited Power got a membership. Chirp got a membership. Stephanie Janicek was already a member. Oh, Phoenix Knight gifted a membership. And Irate Specialist, congratulations. I think we need a video.
Yeah, you guys, you should have a video. Tom, do you have a video? I like that video.
God,
Yeah,
if I could
lazy
train
puppy.
Bambino to do that, would be just.
Oh, it's so great.
That would constitute his work, and you could probably write him off on your
you
taxes.
write him off.
Dude, Bambino is such a fucking dependent.
See, I'm getting good at this, Mikey.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Mikey, next year you're handling all my taxes.
Wow, way to show up for Midnight's Edge After Dark and get more work. I love it.
Hey, I'm just look. It's only 3 companies that you have to work on.
Okay, that's good. I can handle that. My average clients have between 3 and 7, so that I
Yeah.
can do.
Well, and my personal taxes too,
Okay, that's part of the package.
and the boss's taxes,
You're gonna pay him.
and her company.
Oh my god! Can we talk about some
We'll
news
give
stories?
we'll give you the family discount, but you hold up. I got to be your manager. You
Okay,
will pay him,
manage
though.
me, Tom. Manage me.
You will give you the family discount, but you will pay him. Okay.
Okay.
Can you pay me in rabbit chickens? Because I'm kind of low. in
No, we need to get rid of them. We're trying to get rid of them.
Okay.
I am up to my neck in rabbit chickens.
How
What do you
about-
mean we
how-
don't have enough?
How about exchange for work for hire, Mikey?
Well, that'd be
Is that
great
a
if I was a
sex
YouTuber.
thing?
That'd be great if I was a YouTuber.
Yeah. Did you see the member chats? Somebody talk about member chats and the super chats and the chatty chats. There's chatty chats.
I'm pretty sure this is a sex thing.
Who's having what?
Oh yeah.
No.
Did anybody get introduced here?
Yes, I introduced everybody. I,
heard
said
Mike
hi to
here.
about.
You did a
boss.
wonderful job
I
replacing
introduced
him.
everybody. I said hi to 15, 20 people in the chat before
In
the
fact,
first.
I think you did a better job than I normally do.
Yes.
I'm not taking over, Tom.
You should.
Well, Tripping Orc has been a member for 4 months at the maximum effort puppy level. Happy 420, he says. Thank you so
Happy
much.
420.
And then MK Ultra hiking gear and review says is a new minimum effort puppy. Ooh, we gotta do a video for
minimum
that.
effort puppy.
There you go.
Hercules.
Yet more shit Bambino should know how to do, but doesn't give a rat's ass about running.
If you could get
That's
Bambino
funny.
to wield a lightsaber,
Yeah. You can make movies.
you could make movies.
And make
Fucking
money.
movies.
Yeah.
We already did that one.
Warrior Justices, what do you call a doctor who does transition surgeries? A transformer.
Ooh.
Hey, Mexican Tony, Little Nicky, Bat Time, Clobber Lane, Mr. CC, and Culture.
Hey.
The
Hello, Warrior
Blank.
Justice.
He's Culture the Blank.
That sounds like a really weird title.
Deal with it. Aurora Uplink says, I'm sure season 4 Mandalorian is going to be like Enterprise season 4, focusing on what the series is about, a father-son bounty hunting team with Force. If we even get a season 4. I'm starting to wonder about that.
I think we will.
I know.
I don't. Look. It's
Whether we
going
want
to
it or not.
be. It's going to be Star Wars with more Filoni, which means more baloney and more Ahsoka.
Mhm.
I think it's going to go from Ahsoka into that movie.
It's going to be A Force only for Star Wars.
I think it's gonna suck. Whatever it is gonna suck.
Yeah.
Whatever it is gonna suckity suck.
Agreed.
Mr. Buttcrack Media for $5.50 Canadian says, Mexican Iron Man, we need to team up your new chicken taco business and Mr. Buttcrack Media Plumbing. Wow, talk about a synergy that makes no sense, but okay, sure. It'll be a plumbing
tacos
retail.
and plumbing, really?
I
that's a great
just
synergy.
look.
They
I
go
don't want
hand in hand or hand in.
guys, I don't want to ruin the super. Coach, I don't want to ruin the super chat, but let's be real. Who's gonna go buy plumbing supplies? Who's gonna go buy a toilet at the same place they want to buy tacos?
No. You pair. You team up. Like you get the front end product, and he takes care of the back end product.
That's disgusting culture.
Well, that's what it's biology.
It's good business.
Yeah. It's good business. This guy has a commercial, and he pays for like a commercial over on WDW Pros. We watched it a couple times.
He sponsors us too.
Yeah. He's I love Mr. Buttcrack Media. He's in my chat too. I love it. Yeah. I gotta
Mr.
get back.
Buttcrack Media sends in $5.50 Canadian here and says Mexican
I
Iron
just
Man.
read it.
Why?
I just read it.
Because you're eating your face. I mean, you're stuffing your face.
Stuffing my
You
face.
you read it, and I already made a witty joke. About it.
Guilty.
Yeah, we just spent like 5 minutes on this bit. Where were you? Thank you.
Well, excuse me.
How come I have to do the acting thing while you talk?
Waltman says all the journals are freaking out after BuzzFeed. Yeah, where are they going to get all the stupid videos now?
They should be. Let me tell you why. They are not the only digital platform that is hurting for moolah.
I know where the Babylon Bee. I love that website.
Hey, CC Karaoke, did you ever follow or read BuzzFeed?
A decade ago, maybe, vaguely,
yeah.
a couple of times, and then I was like, eh.
You got drawn in by one of those like virally video things, probably.
Oh, I saw something
that's
stupid, and then I kind of it wasn't long before I realized it
Really dumb
wasn't worth my
videos.
time. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Waltman, for the $1.99. Appreciate it. And look, I don't know, Mikey, you a big fan of BuzzFeed?
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else here? Big fans? Big fans?
No, I think you have to be at least under the age of 25 to be assimilated into BuzzFeed.
Age or IQ?
Either way.
Okay, fair enough.
Tom's eating a healthy plant-based burger alternative.
I lied.
What?
I said I smoked some plants today.
Oh,
Oh,
plants.
so you're oh.
It's the same as consuming them, though.
well,
No,
I mean,
it's not.
Getting your veggies.
it's like trees, right? Isn't that what it was called? It was Snoop Dogg called them trees, right? Smoking trees.
Smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Oh, now I'm in trouble. Shit. I'll be back.
And Zontor with a $5.50 Canadian. Netflix is likely confused since ancient history lied less than Cleopatra, yet had a positive response. Cleopatra at least existed. Hancock only lies. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot in that super chat to unpack. Let's
There-
not get into the whole Graham Hancock thing. That would be like for another show. But did you guys catch the Cleopatra documentary thing on your Netflix?
The teaser trailer. Yeah, I seen it. I seen the monument. Yeah, this is brilliant, and it's accurate, and it bothers them, and it's okay. I mean, cast who you want, but it's not a documentary. And interestingly enough, the Egyptian government is suing Netflix over this.
I hope so.
Are they
and I hope
really?
they win.
True story. Yeah.
For frick's sake, please win, because Netflix needs to be held to like not do this crap just because they want to just do it just to change everything because they're so obsessed with their revisionist history. Someone needs to say, okay, this is it, enough. Can't just keep changing it just because you want to. If you can't get the accuracy right, then just don't make it.
Yep.
Nick, you know what this show is? This documentary, in quotations, is the equivalent of getting high with somebody and going, Jesus was black.
Well, I think this is the Egyptian version of, or the Macedonian version or Greek version of the Bolin, Anne Boleyn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least that was a drama, wasn't it? That wasn't a documentary, was it?
I don't know. I don't
No,
care.
I
what
think
you
that was
call it.
more of
Yeah.
a
It
drama.
was a
Yeah,
drama,
this
but
is
still.
this
A
is
mockumentary.
listed as a docu. Yeah, this is listed
Still
as a
dumb.
documentary, though. This is where I have an issue with it. Otherwise, I could give a shit, right? I'd be like, whatever,
Look.
Jada, go do your thing.
Look, if somebody tells you you're getting all this good shit from a black Jesus, anyway, sorry.
Exactly.
Well, I want to self-identify
Exactly.
as Mexican Black Iron Man guy because I heard there's some sweet reparations nectar in California that's going to be flowing from the California tax tree.
Just don't ask for reparations at Target, I'm told. You get punched in the face.
Yes.
Did y'all see that video?
Oh, wait, did you see what happened at Home Depot? You get shooted.
Wow.
No, I didn't hear about that one, though.
Yeah, one of the
Really?
kids, one of the 25-year-old guys that was working at Home Depot tried to stop a shoplifter from leaving with something, and they killed him.
Yowz.
Wow. Well, I wouldn't go to that. Look, I'm not going to condone that, but you got to protect what's yours. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, this will be funny to see how this plays out. I don't know if this will go anywhere. Andre seems to think it's kind of a no-go, but
Could shut Netflix down in Egypt.
I mean, yeah, it depends on where they're going to court for this and what exactly, because like this is a little bit different than some of the other cases I've seen in the past where I'm in agreement that like to be able to call yourself a documentary, I think you at least have to be somewhat accurate, or at least done your due diligence. Like, I mean, it's one thing to be like presenting the idea as like, what if Cleopatra was black? That'd be a different scenario here.
Yeah,
Right.
then we'd have Disney Star Wars.
Boom. Sorry.
Oh my God, I'm so happy after being.
But thank you, Zontar.
I'm so happy right now. I just got breaking news.
Breaking nudes. Who are they of?
Ooh.
No news.
Oh.
After many stressful weeks and stressful days between work and YouTube,
Yeah.
we don't need to go into details.
Gunner
But-
became a member. That's great breaking news. All right.
But the Oakland A's have a deal.
Oh yeah, they're buying land in Vegas. We already know this.
No, but the deal. But now it's set.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. I'm going to buy season tickets again. All right.
Are we
Mexican
moving to
Iron Man
Vegas,
announcement.
Mikey?
Mexican Iron Man's getting season tickets for Las Vegas, Oakland A's. I'm
Are we
going to
moving
renew
to Vegas?
I'm renew. We're not moving to Vegas, but I'm renewing
we?
my member. I'm going to buy 40 games. And who wants to go to Vegas with Mexican Iron Man and watch the Oakland A's next season?
But Mikey, if we get a place in Vegas, I'll make sure like we'll do a seasonal thing.
I'll get a
timeshare.
place in Vegas. I was
Let's
thinking about
do
buying
this.
a condo there anyway.
Well, they're real cheap right now because the housing market's crashing.
Exactly.
drive
Real
my
estate
house
market
there.
sucks.
Let's do this. I
All
got
right.
video. Did you see I got arcade games we could play there?
Hey, let's go all in, Mikey. Let's go all in together and build a big old mead palace in Vegas.
Oh my
Yes.
God, let's do it. Let's do
What do
it.
you think I've been building up this library for?
All right, cool. I'm excited.
Shinotsky wants to visit.
That's right. Everybody can visit.
But you know,
Not only that, we can hang out.
BYOB, bring your own babes.
Dearest wants to go. I don't know what he means by he's a peer on viewer, but Dearest can go. We can do our own Las Vegas. We'll make the Salty Nerd podcast. They'll be like, Salty Nerd podcast. We'll like stop by their studio, drop by, and then we're like, sorry, we're going to the Mexican Iron Suite. Oh my god, we should get a suite. We should get a
Mexican Iron Suite. That's right. And this is for the member.
Yay!
Yay! Oscar-winning puppy. You give that puppy an Oscar. Yeah. I think we'll name him Oscar. And then we've got Aurora Uplinks here, who sends in $2 to say Taco Bell brand toilets, a self-cleaner with bidet.
This is perfect, man. Problem solved.
This makes me want a Japanese toilet.
I know.
They must have a really expensive toilet paper bill.
Do you remember?
This is why you get a Japanese toilet, Nick. Let me introduce you.
Well, I don't know, but I don't need Taco Bell A, B. I don't know what Japanese toilets are. I'm just being serious.
Oh, you're missing out,
dude. Yeah, I mean, you know, dude, you're clean as a whistle when you leave those puppies. Hello.
You need to watch the new South Parks. Speaking of new, did anybody else besides me watch the new Beavis and Buttheads?
I haven't got a chance.
The new ones come out just now?
Yeah, they came out today.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
2 new episodes are out.
Oh,
2 of them. Okay, I will watch them
this week.
I'll definitely watch them.
They were good.
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't want to tell you guys too much about them, but one of them in the second episode, because there's 5 segments altogether. There's 2 separate episodes, and then the second episode actually has 3 segments. But one of them, the boys are trying to buy beer, and they're like, "Old people have no problem buying beer. Let's make you old, Beavis."
Oh,
so he spray paint his hair and shit. He's like, old people are always complaining about their back hurting. Can you do that? He like does it real quick, and he's like, it's got to be more convincing. So he whacks him with a fucking 2x4.
Oh god,
that's all I'll tell you from there on. It gets even better.
That last season was bad for my health. I was laughing so much I thought I was going to break something in.
Oh, you're in trouble then.
There was an episode. I'm not kidding. Have you ever laughed to the point where you think you were going to injure yourself? I mean, you couldn't breathe. I mean, you just couldn't stop, and it wouldn't. There was an episode last year that did it to me. I don't know. It's never happened to me before, quite like that.
Was it the spandex episode, or which one was it?
It was the one called was it Virtual Stupidity? Was the name of the episode.
I know.
When they went into the mall and they put on fake sunglasses and they thought they were playing one of those Oculus games. Thought they were in a game. Oh my god, dude! I couldn't stop laughing. It was so stupid. They were standing next to a guy who was playing one of those games, right? And they're next to the sunglasses booth, right next to in the kiosk, and they put on normal sunglasses and they thought they were walking around in a virtual game. Oh, good lord! It was so great.
The first one was pretty good too.
The movie was great. Dude.
No, I mean like the first episode of this new season here was really good too. Like it's kind of predictable at first, but then it goes a bit of a left field. You're like, oh, okay. Like, all right.
That's for sure.
I'm excited.
Warrior of Justice has got it right. I could not stop watching. Yeah, the white privilege bit in the movie.
Oh, dude,
it's okay.
I thought I was gonna have. I thought myself I was gonna have a heart attack during.
We have white
privilege.
You can't do anything else. We have a white privilege.
Okay, you didn't know. But let's just say for anybody
folks,
who's wanting some more Mr. Anderson, we get some more Anderson in this.
Mr. Anderson.
Oh yes.
Awesome. So Shum says I nominate a Mexican Iron Man to play the lead in the upcoming Netflix Golden Shumway documentary. What the hell is that? Or Gordon Shumway.
What's a Gordon Shumway?
Gordon Shumway is Elf's real name. I thought it was Golden at first. That was my bad.
Fuck.
Oh
no.
Gordon Shumway.
Gordon Shumway. Ha ha ha. And then Warrior of Justice says Mexican Tony gonna jump out of the window down in Vegas. No, we'll make sure you don't do that.
Those windows are too
high. We have a no married women policy that Mikey has when he's there.
What? That policy is all that policy is nationwide.
Yeah, it better be. He's telling me that, and then who's busted now? Mecha J sends in 20 smackaroos. Thank you so much. Just to say that Mike Judge still got it. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Totally still got it.
Oh man,
Well, let's get into this business because we had a bit of breaking news between now and the time I set up the show. But Victoria Alonso has got her payout from Disney.
What? When did this happen?
This just happened here. Like recently, this just dropped. We have no real details because, of course, they're all hush, hush, hush. All we can really get out of it is that while details between Alonso and Disney are confidential, it has been a multi-million-dollar financial compensation is all we know. So that's the gist of it. There's not much more to say other than that. I mean, I don't think anybody's really surprised. I think we all predicted that this would probably happen because this is probably a lot less than what they had planned on paying her out to begin with. And on top of it all, it stops them from going into Discovery, isn't it? Isn't that right, Culture? Let's start with
Yeah,
you.
they're trying to avoid the exposure here. Both sides would have a problem, to be fair. I mean, Disney could bring to the table everything that she was involved in, but they would also have an opportunity to get anything that she was involved in. There's a decent chance that if there's any minutes of any meetings or any recordings or anything, that those would be entered. Not to mention the fact there would be some financial stuff that would be disclosed, which would be very uncomfortable for Disney, especially right now when they are clearly losing money hand over fist on Marvel properties. So yeah, they're just trying to avoid that, which I don't blame them. I knew this was going to end up this way. It was either going to go here or it was going to go to mediation, depending upon how Disney forced the issue, but we'll see.
That's my angle too. Hand over fist.
What now?
Got an
And
angle.
over fist. I've got an angle, Charlie.
Yeah. For those who like heavy metal.
Stirred.
Mikey, I want you to chime in here next because I got to imagine her original deal was for like teens at least, if not more, $1 million payout than this. This sounds like single-digit $1 million payout.
Exactly. This sounds like single-digit settlement. This sounds like just cute little formality. And they just basically said, look, we could spend $1 to $5 million on legal fees and going back and forth, and we can just give this bitch shit, and we already told her to get the fuck out. So I think what happens, though, is that because, to me, this signals two things. One is that from her side, if I were on her side of the table, what this signals to me is that her case for having been dismissed is not strong. It is weak. It had justifiable merit. And she does not believe that neither she nor her attorneys have any kind of reasonable belief in any way, shape, or form that they can get any real cash out of this deal. And then from the other side of the table, on the Disney side, they're like, look, we got a couple options. We can still have this thing happen. We can still have this chick appearing in the news. Her attorneys make periodic statements because when we draw things out, they always take it to the court of public opinion while the court of civil while civil courts are figuring shit out. And they're like, you know what? However much is going to cost us in legal fees or PR, this is going to be less money. Let's just write this hoe a check and get this bitch out of our life.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Klobby, what's your take on this?
I just heard about it. I don't know much culture.
Yeah,
I just got to covered it, I guess. I bless her heart. I feel bad for her.
That's the Southern way of saying F you.
Yeah, I'm just glad her name is spelled with an S.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan of that.
Yeah.
CC, what's your reaction to this?
My first reaction was, wow, that's a lot of money. And now that I've had a little bit of time to think about it, I hear what Mexican Iron Man's saying. Maybe it's not a lot of money after all, but it's millions of dollars. And I suppose at the very least, I would imagine it's worth it for Disney to pay out a few $1 million rather than go to Discovery with it.
Well, yeah, like I think Mikey's hit the nail on the head with the whole, it's going to cost us a couple million just to go to frickin' court, and her people are thinking the same damn thing. And I think Mikey made a huge, a big point there with like, if she really thought she had a case, this wouldn't have been settled. Like if her attorneys were confident that they're like, oh yeah, we think we can take this to court. We think that they're going to show that there was justification in this whole situation, or there was no justified means in blah blah blah, what fucking lawyer speak. At this point, that just shows me, yeah, she's cutting and running because she ain't got nobody knocking on her door. Her phones ain't fucking ringing. We ain't heard of a bunch of offers because trust me, if she was wanted, she would have been picked up by now. So I think that Mikey's 100% correct that this was a situation where it was best for both parties to play it this way. Because Mike, just out of a curiosity, like I got to imagine, like the kind of deal, the kind of parachute she would have would be somewhere in the midst of like probably
20 to 30 million.
I was gonna say, because how much did Chapek get on his exit? It'd
He
be
got
less than
20,
that.
and the thing is that
Yeah.
she's got the thing about Chapek is he got money as an exec to leave. She has legacy stock options. She's got bonus. She's got overrides. I mean, I'm thinking that she probably stood to make, if she had stayed inside Marvel, she probably would have made another 15 to 30 million. And so, but there is something in her contract that they read, and the facts violate the terms of that agreement. However, Disney got her. It goes back to that meet show we did that night when this news broke, because the news of her leaving broke on the meet, not on the Midnight's Edge. And at the time, one of the things that I said then is that when I read the article with you, Tom, is that they said they had a team of people inside Disney that made this decision, from legal, and they mentioned legal, human resources, exec, and then it mentioned that Kevin was a part of the conversation, Kevin Feige, but it mentioned all the other people that were. What that told me is that they had completely done their due diligence, and they're like, we can take this, we can tell this chick to leave on a Friday, and that's the other thing too. They did it for late Friday afternoon, which is a typical classic way of firing someone, right? No hoopla. And so when they did that, they said, we got all our ducks crossed in a row. She comes back with her Latinx horse shit, this fucking hoe. She comes back with, sorry, I'm real sensitive to the Latinx stuff. I apologize, Tom. She comes back with the Latinx minority angle crap and tries to make them sound stupid. And they're like, look, let's just make this hoe go away.
Yeah, I think you guys are on the right.
Go away.
You guys are on the right track. I have to tell you, she didn't really have a case.
Bring my Marvel back today.
What she had is checkbox mafia stuff. That's what she had. So
no, I think you're right. I think this was a pittance. I bet she only got like $5 million, like Mikey said, and that's on the high end. Because there's no way. And I agree with you, Mike. I bet her original, if she had a parachute, is probably in the $15 million range. Because I said it would have to be less than what Chapek got, but it would probably be pretty close.
No.
But for Disney, this is them paying out, getting out of this deal, getting out of this problem.
She got a B actor. She got B actor scale paycheck is what she got for this.
Yeah, don't forget she just got she just got a new special advancement and all that stuff. So I'm sure it came with some perks like that. But
no. They fired her for cause. She was entitled to nada on her contract at that point.
Well, here's the thing. They must have thought that it was going to cost them at least a little something to deal with this. So that's why they cut a check. That's what I'm saying.
But it only would have cost them in PR. It wasn't going to cost them actual money. Because at the end of the day, I mean, they can write off the lawyer's fees, rather easily. It's the PR they would suffer, because she'd be going through the checkbox mafia to get, support. And isn't Disney being mean to this checkbox mafia person?
Yeah.
So well, that's honestly what it is.
Flavor Nick, what up? You're the only one who hasn't chimed in here. What's your take on this?
Victoria Alonso is just gonna live happily ever after with her bank, and as you guys pretty much all said it, I mean, I've got nothing extravagant to add. That's just Marvel's way of just settling it, saying, "Here, you go about your way, we go about ours." That's all I got.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, Mr. Buttcrack Media has gifted 5 Midnight's Edge memberships. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
You brought so much misery to so many lives.
And those who went to Echo 3, Baza the Great, Vince A, Joshua Hammond. What did I miss? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and Sean Stackhouse.
Oh, that was 5. Oh, Sean, cool.
Excellent.
How you doing, Sean? I think I saw Andy in the chat earlier too. How you doing, buddy? So yeah, let's get into this next story because we're a lot farther behind than I had anticipated being here.
Only 35 minutes into the show.
I know, but we actually have a lot to cover.
Oh shit.
This is a story that it just keeps on well, it gets worse and worse for Marvel and for Jonathan Majors. That's for sure. Let's put it that way.
Oh boy.
In the last 24 hours, we have seen more alleged abuse victims come forward and cooperating with the DA. This is not a good look for the man.
Wow.
Now what did he do? For God's sake, Jesus.
I don't think we have any real specifics here But it says Jonathan has some other accusers that are going to be working with the DA.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's not
Mm-hmm.
good. One person who is working with majors on an upcoming project said it read like a bad Lifetime movie. They basically took like the text messages of a textbook abused woman.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because this is of course in response to the tweets that we saw. And I want you all to keep those tweets in mind, because that's going to be more important in the second half of the story. Because yeah, this is not looking good for our man here at all. As throughout the week, he's also been dropped from multiple projects. Isn't that right, Culture?
Yeah, this guy is losing projects we didn't even know he had. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some public stuff out there, but he lost the ad campaign for the Rangers. He obviously lost the military ad campaign right before
there was an Otis Redding.
Yeah, the Otis
movie.
Redding thing we didn't even know about. Yeah, the biopic he was going to be involved. I mean, there was stuff he was slated to do that he's not doing anymore. And again, the last person to announce any of this, the last person that will announce any of this is going to be Disney. Disney is going to sit on their hands till they're forced to make a decision. And that time is coming soon because we're less than 2 weeks away from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And that it opens that, May 5th,
Right.
and then his first court date is May 8th. That is not something you want at the end of your opening weekend. It's not, especially if you know that your likely best earnings are coming out of that first weekend, because after that, it's going to fall off a cliff like Ant-Man.
Well, and it gets worse than that because his management and agents also dumped him. So this is all coming to a head here. And as we've talked about earlier on Mr. H's stream, nothing from nothing comes nothing. So that's probably why your agency dumps you. And we just dropped a video here a little bit ago on the main channel where Andre gives his take on this.
Yeah.
And he gives the same kind of assessment. And that is the only reason his agents and managers would drop him is that the scoop that I had done just over a week ago is probably coming to fruition, and that is that he was dumped by the MCU.
So I think, wouldn't you think, Tom, that with your breaking news from last week, that is not only the case, but that's the redwood timber that fell first, and then from that would have been his PR and his manager, and then word spread, and then the wildfire, and just no one knows that the first match, no one's making a big deal that the first match was actually your breaking news about the Marvel. But that was the first match that lit the forest fire. Yeah,
I think you're right because, and that's where Andre comes from too, is like basically he can lose all this other shit, and an agency will still stick with you because he had like a $20 million contract with Disney. So that means they'll still have a piece of that. They'll still stick with somebody who's got a guaranteed $20 million contract. But as I just said, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So that's why everybody's bailing on him. I guarantee you is that he has nothing left. There's no way. Otherwise, they would stick around and probably wait this out because according to TMZ, they've got conclusive evidence that he's innocent.
No, they have some screenshots.
That's the problem.
And they don't have date and time stamps.
This is more of the same out of his agent and publicist, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the other problem. His current crisis PR and again, this is something that Mr. H talked about extensively on today's HCast. The attorney for him is Miss Chowdhury, right? Well, Miss Chowdhury is actually married to his PR crisis guy, or crisis PR guy. So what this is? So really, this is like a tag team. Like take it to like somebody who'll pay attention, which is in this case TMZ. Like we're gonna go to TMZ instead of going to a reputable outlet to try to distribute this information because they're tabloid level. We know. And they get it right a lot of times, but having information just handed to you at TMZ is usually not the best pathway forward. Not to mention the fact that the DA's office is still pursuing this, and is it adding to a witness list? That is not good.
Well, and I asked everybody to remember the text messages, right? You guys recall that?
Yeah, which was very bad.
Okay, because in this report, his attorney Priya Chandri, or however you say her name, and her husband, who is the publicist, are basically trying to push this as this is conclusive evidence that she's lying. She was out clubbing afterwards. That's what this supposedly shows. This too, I guess. And this, I guess. And then, you know, like, there's no video. It's not video. It's just images. Okay, so there is no video here, even though they say there is. There isn't. Okay, so again, we have a claim of supposed video that exonerates him that they don't release and show us. And they're also claiming that this whole thing is a lie. They did not get into an altercation. She tried to grab his phone. The cabbie will back up this claim. She went out clubbing afterwards. Then she came to his place drunk as a skunk and passed out in his closet after she threw up in his bed and took some pills, and he called 911 because of that. That's the story they're going with now. They're also claiming that none of her texts say that that he struck her at all. They keep using the term struck. Well, nobody ever said anything about striking her. The term was grabbing her by the throat. And then they go on to claim that they have evidence that the cops baited her or pushed her into saying this. So these are some pretty salacious claims going on here by the attorney. And I'm just going, boy, you better have the evidence to back this shit up.
Yeah.
I mean, I've passed out in some places, so I can believe the closet story. I mean, these things do happen.
Oh, I mean, did I mention she was naked on top of it? But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But Lord, I'm just sitting here going through this and I'm just like, I want to believe this guy's innocent or at least get due process, you know, innocent until proven guilty. But this guy's lawyer and publicist are not helping his fucking case whatsoever. And Culture's got to leave us here soon. So again, I'm going to throw it to you real quick, Culture, and then we'll go across the board here and get everybody's reaction to this shit. Because it's just getting a little too deep in here, if you ask me.
I think he had
Culture said he had to step away. I'm sorry. Okay,
step,
sorry,
yeah.
my bad. I thought he meant he had to leave. So, okay, well, we'll just go with Klobby since you just spoke up. Where do you sit at this point? I mean, I know you probably don't want to comment too much on it. But
No, I agree with you. I think they are not helping his case at all. This looks just horrible for him. This really, I don't have much to say other than I don't think he has much hope to. He's done. I think he's finished in Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think Beyond Marvel is just in general. Yeah.
Yeah, unless he can pull an Ezra Miller and become part of a certain oppressed group, and then who knows, maybe he'll be all right.
Maybe. I don't know if I think it's too late for that.
Too late. He should have thought of that before.
I mean, he has had some pretty questionable photos.
Oh man. Yep.
Nick, what's your take on this?
I think he's also
Well, I still don't think he's exactly guilty, as there's still no proof, but he definitely doesn't look any more innocent either. As you mentioned, he definitely does not have good people at his side, which is really weird to present what they call evidence, because this is not really evidence. It's just a big nothing burger, as some of you guys like to say. So I don't exactly still think he's guilty until I actually see something that proves that he caused something. But he's definitely not off the hook either.
Right. And that's all well and fine. Right. Again, I agree with you. I agree with the audience. He's innocent until proven guilty. But unfortunately, there's businesses around this man. He's a business unto himself. And there are other business doing business with him. His management walked away from him. His PR firm walked away from him. Projects have fallen away from him. A designer
that's all done that based off accusations. So straight up hearsay.
Again, we don't know what they know. We also know this. If a DA doesn't have a case that's solid, especially in Manhattan or any of these other places, those are political positions. Those people want a win record of nearly 100% if they can manage it. So if they don't think they have this to the nuts, right? Why would they move forward? We are less than 2 weeks, or we are about 2 weeks a day tomorrow 2 weeks away tomorrow. No, Monday. This coming Monday, from this court date. He's already been arraigned. He's going to court. And again, he'll have his day in court. He'll have the opportunity to be found innocent, because right now he's presumed innocent. But if you're a DA, this is a high-profile case. It's messy. It involves a massive media entity, because Disney not only controls, obviously, Marvel, they control an entire news channel, a media empire. They control ABC News. They control other media outlets, other entities that can make things difficult for this DA. Again, you are not going to take this risk in that political position if you don't think you have this thing nailed it. And like I said, innocent until proven guilty indeed. But I'm telling you right now, the way these people think.
Yeah, CC, what's your take on this?
Well, I agree with culture that, for the DA, you want that 100%. No, maybe nobody gets 100%, but you want 97, you want 98. It's sexy, it's enticing, and it's part of the career, it's part of the politics. So that doesn't look good, and it does increasingly look not good for Jonathan Majors right now. But of course, personally, I do want to see the process play out. I understand he's a public figure. The case has gotten going. It's expectable that others may come forward because it's such a public case. So that in and of itself doesn't, it's not going to cause me to damn him, but it definitely, it doesn't look good. I'm gonna be reserved about this because I know, we need to see the evidence laid forth and discussed. I want to see it in court. I want to see it play out.
See, and this is something I'm not sure. I haven't seen this bit, Jeff. This is what my question was about the others coming forward with the DA. Because this is what I said earlier on Mr. H. I said maybe there was other cases before this that just didn't have enough evidence to go forward. But now that there's a pattern set, these other people are going to be involved now. And that's maybe what's going on here. If this is true, that seems to be the case. Now, Mikey.
Yes.
You're probably the closest thing to a lawyer on the panel. So what's your take?
I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV.
I know you're not, but I said you're the closest thing to a lawyer.
Yes.
So
the jack of all trades.
And a master of all, especially.
Well, this is a tough issue. I mean, I've said it before on this channel and on other channels. I myself was accused of DV. I was arrested. I spent a weekend in jail. I spent a year fighting my allegations. And I had the text messages, emails, and ultimately the DA flipped and went after my accuser instead of me. And I was exonerated completely. But up until that time, I had charges pending for well over a year. And it was all completely trumped up. We didn't even get in a fight. She just said that we got in a fight, and she created her own situation. This is a very different situation with this guy, however. In my situation, a lot like Johnny Depp, when my allegations came out, an entire community rallied around me. I had people that for 2 decades have known me, and I had letters of support, and there were nonprofit programs that I had, raised money for, like single moms that wanted to get their accounting degrees, and the accounting board. I was president of CPAs of San Francisco, San Jose, and I mean, I just had a plethora of support when these things came out, and it was just like, this is completely antithetical to its character. A lot like what happened with Johnny Depp, which I followed that situation very intensely. This is very different, and I think you, Mr. H, and Andre picked up on this very adeptly early on, which is that there's been no outpouring of support for this guy. No. And while we do want to say he's innocent until proven guilty, I especially want to say he's innocent until proven guilty because I had the benefit of being innocent until proven guilty. But at any point in the thing that this is a miserable situation to be in, but if this guy did something he shouldn't have done and there's a pattern of it, then he deserves to lose every single dollar that might have been coming to him.
This is true, but like you said, I mean, you stated it yourself. They stated it yourself, and we talked about it today on HCast. He hasn't had the kind of support that you would get from the community, from family, from anything else. In fact, he's had people quietly going to the DA that aren't seeking publicity, that aren't seeking a payday, and that's a completely different other thing.
It is.
Again,
Yeah, that's what I said. He has that zero support.
And I think
come
the
out.
Marvel paycheck, there's something else too, which is more of a gut, financial reaction, not legal or not myself in a similar situation. I have there's another angle to this, which is that for him to be in the position he's in, he is a guaranteed paycheck for the next 3 to 10 years,
Yeah.
5 years for sure.
20 million
Right.
bucks at least, maybe 30.
Okay, you're talking, and then with the other appearances, the other things. I mean, this is This guy is a guaranteed cash register, or was a guaranteed cash register, and for him to get bailed on left and right, there's something that we don't know, and it's not just image. It's not just especially since the victim's not out there saying he did it, and she's doing the contrary to it, but. For whatever reasons that's happening.
Yeah.
But
and again, I mean, if you look at it from this perspective, how does this weigh differently than the case, as John Connors says in the chat, as the Baldwin case? Alec Baldwin literally.
Well, that's our next story, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to stick around for all of this, but I got a dip soon. But it's just, I mean, the dropping those charges, despite the fact that he evidently very clearly did this activity.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, I'm sure we're all, and this is going to be a very opinionated and probably heated situation for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
But as I tried to strongly tell people from the very, 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 very start, and I wish Script Doctor was here to back me up on this, told y'all nothing was going to happen. Why? Because never in the history of movies has anybody ever been in a situation like this and gotten any sort of jail time out of it. Or in fact, in trouble at all, really, legally. So I'm not surprised here. But yeah, go ahead, Culture, on your way out. Give your final thoughts on this and the Major's business. And
Well, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, again, the only reason he's getting off is because he managed to get rid of the attorneys that actually would have held his feet to the fire on something, who would have won because there is a case there. He's getting off on fame and celebrity, and he's getting off in a state that is frankly similar to the demographics, as far as political demographics of Chicago, which is why you ended up with the sommelier thing, the guy that sells you wine.
And here's the thing: is I understand people feel like he should be held to the, blame. But the thing is the person who's really to blame here is the person who's still facing charges.
Maybe,
and that's the armor.
But that's not again. That's not the job of the prosecutor. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm going to step out. I really had a good time here. I hung around for longer than Mike expected me to. I was here for about an hour. So I want to say thanks to all of you who came over from WDW Pros show. That was great. And hopefully I see many of you as your bright smiley faces over on Comics Division in about an hour or so. Hopefully you're there
I'll
too.
see you there.
All right. Sounds good. Love you guys.
Easy, buddy. Be good, man.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I'm getting at here too, is like Elizabeth Young says, is nothing happened in Brandon Lee's case, and he was killed, but no one got in trouble with that one. It was ruled an unfortunate accident. Yeah, so the fact that they're even still going after the armorer here makes me even more surprised than any of this part. Because as Elizabeth just pointed out here, normally in these kind of cases, they're usually just chalked up as to an accident and nobody's held really liable. And if they are, it's in some sort of civil situation and never in a criminal liability situation. But like I said, I know this is going to be a heated topic. I know this is going to be a very opinionated topic and people are going to have a lot of different feelings about this. But Mikey, I know you're somebody who actually deals with guns a lot. And I know for somebody who probably does deal with guns, this case and the reason, and the reasons it's being dropped probably make no sense to you, but or to most people probably. But I'm wondering if it does make sense to you in this case or not. Actually, I guess my better question.
Well, you're right. I probably am the best person to ask because I deal with guns. I'm a big tactical guy. I train at least once a month, and I have. Let's just say if the alien and zombie apocalypse comes, come to Hilton Head, and I got everybody covered. If you know what I mean. And so I'm going to put two hats on. And it's going to be really weird to do this. And I'm going to get a lot of shit in the chat probably and probably on the replays on the live stream. But this is what we got to do. I'm going to go there. On the one hand, if I put on my 2A hat, my Second Amendment hat, and my tactical shooter hat, this guy should be convicted, prosecuted, and he should do time. For sure. There's absolutely the rule. You don't point a gun. You assume every gun's loaded. You don't point it at anything you don't intend to destroy. And for the first rule about assuming a gun's loaded is also includes knowing the condition of your weapon. He did not know the condition of the weapon, but these are rules, and I could go on and on. There's 4 safety rules of gun stuff. I'm not going to go through them here, but the point of the matter is that from that hat, with that hat on, he is completely and totally guilty and should face charges and should do jail time. That being said, however, is that the reality of how Hollywood interacts with weapons in a set is very different, in that the person shooting that scene essentially doesn't have any responsibility at all ever, because the responsibility of, say, some of these rules of knowing the condition of the firearm, the ammunition, whether or not something's live or not, all of that is typically delineated out to prop masters, armorers, and on-set assistant directors.
One thing I think you should point out is these are licensed.
These are bonded, licensed. These are bonded and licensed. These are bonded and licensed people, and they have typically, before they're hired on set, they're also union too, almost always, right? So the relationship between what a negative situation that happens and the guy who pulls the trigger, all of those things are delineated out: the condition of the firearm, the condition of the ammunition, yada yada yada. And so the actor's especially supposed to do a scene or not. So that being said, this is an incredibly challenging situation in this particular case, I think, for any district attorney, because from the letter of the law, he should face charges and he should go to jail. From the spirit of the law and the practice of what happened in the particular scenario, the prosecutor may not feel comfortable moving forward. And frankly, what also is coming into play in this here has to do with the other participants of this situation. Whereas Alec may have pulled the trigger, he's not the one that got, the other people around him that still have charges pending. Arguably, there's a much, in terms of accountability for the person that lost their life, the case against those other people is probably much, 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 much stronger, especially in terms of their negligence, their lack of due diligence, and their accountability and culpability related to what happened.
Yeah,
all that being said, I hate this motherfucker and I wish he'd go to jail.
Yeah, and I know most of us probably feel that way, but you probably said it more eloquently than I could have. And that's basically it. That's the sad fact of this. And like the Crow situation, even though the prop department probably should have been held liable there, they weren't. I don't know if there was ever any civil thing later. I'd have to go do some more research on that, but that's the closest to this, because there, what that situation was is the prop department made their own blanks instead of buying them to save some money, and they were overloaded. And so what it did is it basically turned what was a blank into an actual bullet, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that can happen, because depending on the number of grains that you put in the cartridge cylinder and the type of the projectile, whether it's, I don't want to go on and on. It's going to get boring.
I mean, there's all kinds of other cases we could even cite that don't even have to do with guns, because Alec just brought up in the chat the John Landis case. That drug on for a couple of years. And the people that were found liable there too were the licensed people that were in charge of those things. So there's the thing is, that's part of where the cushion is. And I hate saying it that way, but it's true, because I know your first gut reaction is to this is, oh, he's a celebrity and he got off. I get that. I totally get that gut reaction, but that's not what I think is the case here. And I'm almost positive, and I can say it with confidence because of all the other cases that we've seen in the past. It always tended to boil down to who was actually responsible for the prop, for the protection, for whatever it was that they were dealing with. And we had a conversation with Gary Tunnicliffe about this, some of it in public, some of it not in public. And so I can't speak to everything. But I mean, this is a very important thing to most people, especially after the Crow. Things changed astronomically after the Crow. I believe this is something he did bring up in a public conversation about it. But I know he couldn't talk too much about it publicly. So again, I don't want to get too much into what he said, but the fact that was such a horrible accident, and that's what we got to look at this as a horrible accident. As much as we hate Alec Baldwin, it was still a horrible accident. And we want
That's true. I
point a
can
finger
accept
at
that
him.
part, regardless of feelings.
But what it boils down to is they had a very inexperienced armorer on this set who did not do what she was supposed to do. And you could also say that the assistant director was also a part of this chain of events, but he seems to have made a deal. So that's where he's weaseling. If anybody's the bigger weasel, it's him. Because that's what I kept saying from the start. If you guys rewind and go back to those shows, whether it's the morning show, one of these shows, wherever we were discussing this at any time, even when I talked about it over on like Comics Division and stuff, that's the things that we kept on saying, is that nothing is going to happen to him because he just needs to keep his mouth shut. That's all he really needs to do. If he'd done that, then he would have looked better in this whole scenario. You know, to me, I don't know why they're finishing making the movie other than now her husband's a producer, right? Like that.
Well, the other reason they may be doing that is that if there's a project that has to do with the insurance and the liability on the civil side, and you know, if you've got no production and no entity, then there's no cash from the insurance, and they probably need that insurance money in order to make the family happy.
Exactly, and that's why he's an executive producer on the
project. God, this is such frustrating news.
It is a very frustrating situation.
I'm so fucking frustrated with this news.
But
it just feels like another situation of rules for thee, but not for me.
It does, and I know that's everybody's first knee-jerk reaction to this, and I totally understand. And this is why this got so heated and a little bit confusing before, when Script Doctor and I and others were trying to explain to people that you got to understand this is not a typical situation like where if me and Mikey went out to the range and God forbid something were to have happened, one of us could be liable for that because it's a private situation where we both are supposed to be following gun rules and regulations. But as I said before, and this even got some people upset on the other side of it, but I'll say it again. Actors, you got to treat them like fucking children. They don't understand any of this shit. As much training as some of these guys have had, and Alec Baldwin has had training. Guess what? He's still a fucking actor. And actors are going to do stupid shit and not think about the things that normal people would think about. And I know it's not a fucking excuse. But this is why you have large licensed armorers and shit on the set. And prop masters to handle this shit. So they know that they can watch the dangerous toys while the kids are being kids. And I know it sucks, but it's the fucking truth. It's the sad fucking truth. You cannot trust an actor, no matter how much fucking training they've had or anything else, to be as responsible as an actual gun owner would be. Because guess what? They aren't technically a gun owner. That's the key difference. They don't own that gun. It isn't their responsibility. I know it doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's no different than if it was a sword or anything else you had in your hand. And, you know, we've had conversations about the same thing about retractable knives. They're very picky about those too, because guess what? Those don't always work like they're supposed to either. So we've had more stories. I've heard more stories actually about where people have been injured with knives that haven't retracted than guns, because of the last time we had a gun incident was basically the Crow. But there has been dozens of knives and other deaths and other accidents and stuff since then, and nobody's been held responsible for them. The only times that I've heard anybody ever been held responsible for it was the death of the assistant on the Allman Brothers movie. And that was because they didn't have the permits to be shooting in the first place. If it wasn't for that, I bet you nothing would have happened. Because there's kind of a risk involved with this, unfortunately. I guess you got to look at it that way. It's really stupid. But it is what it is. And I know it sucks. I don't know if anybody has anything to add or subtract from that. And I open the floor to all feelings, and I'm not going to say anything to anybody who wants to, you know, feel otherwise, because it is a very passionate situation. But I want to get it all off the table, and then we'll get moved on to other things. So who wants to go first, or who has something to say? CC, it looks like you.
I love the retractable knife example. I used to play with them growing up. I was in theater, right? At least, you know, up to a point when I was like 20. And it's true. It's like those things, they're supposed to go in when you play stab someone. They don't. There are technical issues at play, and that's where I feel that this situation is very, very different from an interpersonal one like Jonathan Majors. and we've all had bad relationships, and that. But here we're looking at a very technical execution thing. Is Alec Baldwin responsible for what happened in terms of knowing that there was an active bullet in that chamber? Was he responsible for checking that? Could he have stopped it? And then everybody else on the production, right? And where does that blame lay? We're not going to blame the weapon. We're not going to blame the retractable knife for failing to go in. That's not necessarily a human's fault until you get to the point at which that knife would have gone in if it was properly handled and dealt with as it is supposed to be done in a professional manner. That's about as much I can say about it. Because, I mean, it's easy to get caught up in personal feelings about what do I think about Alec Baldwin. But I mean, I'm trailing off here, Tom, but really, like, I mean, if someone is gonna be held,
I think the better way I can do that is because you brought up the knife thing. Well, one of the individuals I talked to about that flat out said that, they are responsible for it. Like whether it would be legally or just in, like they would feel horrible if somebody were to get hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
So he said, it never fails. You come out, you bring the prop out. And again, this is where I wish Script was here because he's actually worked in the prop department. Because you bring out the prop and the first thing everybody wants to fucking do is grab at it and play with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always how it was. Like, it's just sitting on the table there.
They're
right?
kids. Like, that's what I was trying to say. They turn into fucking kids.
And like, we ran up to the table and we grabbed those prop knives and we started stabbing each other with them, right?
People brought up, aren't those supposed to be blunt? Yeah, I'm sure they're technically blunt to a point, but sometimes when you go with the force that some of these people are going.
Yeah. We were like,
if it don't retract, it's still going to jab into you. Like,
if that thing does not retract, prop and blunt or not, that's going to cause some serious damage. It might not kill us, depending. I mean, we were, we were stabbing in some places, so I wouldn't want that to not retract, Now, is it our
made
fault
out of real metal and stuff? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Is it our fault for running to the table and starting to stab each other with it? Or is it the fault of the person who put it on the table, the person who's supposed to take care of it? They put it on the table. There's a responsibility there. Maybe they should have it locked up because you never know. And
that's why I say these individuals that do handle these very dangerous props, as far as I know, they take it very seriously. And they bat the hands away. They're like, nope, don't you dare touch that.
That's how it should go on a professional, responsible production. Now, if this production was not handled professionally, that's definitely a case.
And that could fall on Alec. That's the thing, is that's where an argument lies here, because he's part of the production. But is he just one of the, above the line people whose names on it just to get it made, like people have brought up before? Or is he actually somebody who's making a lot of the decisions? I don't think it's the latter. I think it's the former. But does anybody else have anything more to add to this so we can move on to the next case?
I'm just absolutely furious that another celebrity, I don't honestly care about how he feels on the Playboy. I don't care how crazy he is. It's just another celebrity gets away with things just because of their class. And yet these are the type of people who want to go being activists about people needing to treat each other equally, yet he's not being held to an equal standard. And on top of it, the legal system around it. Like, I hate that the legal system is so politically motivated when it's supposed to be every case should be treated as is, not, well, we had to treat this differently because we're in this state and we have this political slant to us. Obviously, that's La La Land Dream World, but it's just, it really pisses me off that we had to treat like that. No lawyer, no judge, no anyone can just see this case black and white for what it is. They have to think, well, I have to base it based on my leanings and my preconceived notions. And it infuriates me, because it's just like, is this just the rest of eternity where these people will always be the ones getting held to this higher standard? Like, at what point do these people finally got this shit, say, no, you're going to go to jail and you can't be bought out? Someone's got to correct. This can't go on forever. That's all I got.
No, that's totally fair.
I'm with Nick on that. Got nothing much to say about it. You guys covered it very well, of course. And can't stand the bastards, but you made excellent points.
Yeah, I think his career's pretty much done either way.
You
I
can
mean, he'll
not
be in a couple
like
more
someone
things, but-
and still know
No.
if they're innocent on something. You can,
Sure.
that's what a lot of
Absolutely.
people put their feelings too like much to the forefront of things. Like I've made it clear before, like I'm no fan of Marilyn Manson, but that doesn't mean he can't be an innocent man in the situation he is. People tend to look at innocent or guilty depending on how they feel about someone. That's
well,
the absolute
and maybe that's part
worst
of the
way of
problem
judging
here.
somebody.
And I'm not saying you're wrong in your feelings at all, Nick. Like, I'm not trying to say that at all. What I'm saying here is I think a lot of people are looking at it from a guilty or innocent standpoint here. It's not about that. He's obviously guilty. It was an accident, though, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's the thing. It's not a matter of guilt. It's a matter of responsibility and who's liable.
Yeah, and I'm good with that. That's fine. But the issue is they're only gonna handle it just because he's Alec Baldwin. If this was any other person in his position, and there would have been actual consequences.
I don't know. And that's where I say I'm not so sure. I never thought there would be just because of the Crow thing. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Me
we have
either.
our
Right?
answers now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But as I said, next case, we do have another case coming up here because it's one of those kind of days. But we also have some super chats and gifts, memberships. Mr. Buttcrack Media gifted 5 Midnight's Edge memberships. Thank you for that.
Hey.
Then we got Lance Corporal Beatus, who says, I have half a mind to drive 15 minutes to Burbank and park in front of Disney with a sign that says, Iger is a dirty commie and KK is a murderer of Star Wars. Hey, I'm not stopping you, my friend. Just don't get arrested.
Go for it.
Warrior of Justice says, autistic kids with a gun is called special forces. Oh, no.
Wow.
What do you call a dyslexic Asian? We Todd did. Oh, jeez. People are like jokes. Some people don't like Dark One. Oh, jeez. You're getting there, Warrior. You're getting over the line. Getting over that line.
And demonetized.
Yes, we're demonetized and probably canceled. John Apocalypse wants to know the state of Alex's career. Will he be in film? He will probably be in a few more, but
yeah.
I think he's gonna be poisoned for a while. So like I don't think he'll be able to do too much. I think he'll do 1 or 2 more projects and then people won't want to work with him anymore for a few years, and then he'll probably have some comeback in about 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about usual.
Yeah. You could take a few years off. I'm sure you can afford it.
No.
Slade Wilson says, love my primo Latino Mexel, but if Baldwin was a Trump supporter, would he walk? I do think so. I think this is a matter of, we can be one way or another and they can try to make it a political thing, but the way the law has worked before, the way these cases have gone before, just a few examples we brought up, right? Nobody has ever been held liable outside of certain situations. And
Right.
in this instance, there's still a pending case. It's not like it's over yet. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
But
You know,
I agree with you too. It's like once you let some things out of the box, you can't put them back in.
yeah.
So I don't think they want it to happen the first time as well.
Now, after these kind of things have happened, I'm sorry, Kate, CC, I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh no, I was done.
When I watch a movie now with a lot of guns in it, like with people just doing crazy, reckless stuff with guns, like holding them up to their face or putting them in their mouth, you do all this kind of crazy stuff. I'm like, wow, what does that? I mean, do they have rubber guns, or they have certain guns for certain shots when you're willy nilly just playing with a gun on, like with a character in the film's like playing around with a gun and very recklessly and all this other kind of stuff. It makes me wonder what they use, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I know nothing about how
it's kind of a slapdash
like
thing, and
but,
they are. You're right, Clobby. They're supposed to use like rubber guns in certain instances. I know Robert England's talked about where he's had to remind people, like, wait a minute, I'm wearing the sharp glove here, before they do something bad. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you this time.
No, it's like for example, in Lethal Weapon, the first one I was watching again recently. I've watched it a lot, and when Mel Gibson's just playing around with that gun like it's a toy, and he's putting it in his mouth and he's putting it under his all those scenes when people do that in movies where they hold guns up to people's faces and heads and all this other kind of stuff, and it looks real. They got all these, obviously they got these fake guns and stuff like that, but they make them look pretty real. I'm wondering if we're ever going to get to a point where you never have to have anything that even comes close to firing any kind of discharge at all in any film, at all. In other words, why would that? Why are there still guns at close contact that actually fire anything?
That's a good question. It's a very fair question, and I have somewhat of an answer to that. first of all, most of the guns you see in movies are generally real guns in
Yeah, that's
almost
what I'm
every
saying.
case. Sometimes they have certain parts taken out and stuff to where they can't be, shoot anymore and stuff like that. They tend to use those kind of things for the more close-up scenes like you're talking about, like in Lethal Weapon. Because that's the thing I was saying earlier, too, is not only are actors children, they need to be able to be free in the scene sometimes, too. Now, of course, if they have one of these guns that has a load in it that's... Because there's different kinds of blanks, too. That's the other thing. There's ones that are less, that are, for more closer in, when you're shooting at somebody and stuff like that don't shoot out anything at all, but just do a little bit of a muzzle flash. Then you have the bigger ones that do a bigger muzzle flash and stuff like that, you can have stuff fly out.
I wonder if we still even need that, though. I mean, with the kind of that level of technology.
You're at a point now where we really don't. But there's some
Maybe.
directors and some people...
Where it gets into is that, you're not able to see, like, say, the recoil. It adds to do with believability. I mean,
I was going to say
they're
it's
still actors, but
yeah, and I mean, you can get air recoil ones and certain things like that, but
Not
you still get
same.
to...
a lot of
still
times
not
in
the
movies you don't
same.
see that anyway. They just forget that kind of crap anyway. They just shoot like they're just holding a water gun half the time with no.
Well, that's the
recoil
way
whatsoever.
actors think, and that's what I was thinking there. But, or you mean just their physical thing? Well,
yeah,
it depends
As
on
far
the
as,
gun.
A lot of times you'll see a guy just shooting, his arm isn't even moving, but it would have fired 50 times, and it's not even moving his arm or whatever with a recoil or anything like that. They just kind of forget that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm just curious: are we at a point? Or if we ever get to a point where you don't really have to have any kind of anything close to a working gun with the way effects are now today and different stuff like that.
You could, but it's the expense.
Like you
is
need
one
blanks
thing,
and
probably.
stuff. Okay, yeah.
I would
more
worry
You
about
see John Wick 4, John Wick 3, John Wick 2, John Wick 1. That's why you need.
Yeah. I would worry about the legislation. Once you get into that whole thing where you have to not have a real gun on set by law.
Oh, and I'm saying law. I'm just saying.
Well, no, but it's a slippery slope. You get tax breaks, let's say, or
okay, no,
stuff like that. Is like, I can imagine there's a lot of people who would prefer to have the creative freedom.
I was asking.
You need people that aren't completely and totally irresponsible on the set, letting something like this happen.
Yeah, I was asking from the standpoint of what's possible and what's not possible. I wasn't even thinking,
Yeah, no, Clobby, that's an excellent question, and you totally can, but it would cost. The problem is most of them don't like it for all the reasons these guys just said. There's a cost factor still. It's still not more cost efficient to do it that way. There are some times where they have used computer and other things to enhance certain things they've had to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already a thing.
Just curious.
But as far as the past goes, we're only still a few years removed from when, on Clint Eastwood movies and shit, they used to shoot windows out with actual bullets. You know what I mean? That's where we're at still. So we're still, not too far off from that shit. But no, that's a totally valid question. And I'm not so sure it's not something that will start happening here more often. But I think movies like John Wick and other ones will try and keep it more realistic.
Would you want something pointed at you where there's any possibility that something might discharge from it?
I've actually worked with prop guns before.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had no problem with him, but no, it's a fair assessment. But at that point, I didn't even realize there was any plausibility or possibility of anything like that happening. And this was even after the Crow, but the blanks we were using were pretty low caliber. So, I mean, even that sense, but they looked like bullets. And the gun worked and functioned just like a regular gun, but it was actually made for these blanks too. That's the other thing. So I think there was actually a blocker.
Something I was always curious about. Yeah. So, I got you.
I get both sides of that. I'd be really spooked having a gun pointed at me.
Yeah.
On the other hand, as a filmmaker, I want a live bullet shooting that window out because that's the realest way to film it.
Film it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I hear you. Yo.
Oh, Six just sent me something here that says now they're going to be dropping the charges against Hannah Gutierrez Reed as well, maybe. See, I told you guys. Nobody's in trouble. So.
No, it's keep it in the box. There's people, I'm sure that they do not want to let that out of the bag. Once you start really charging people, then you have to do it the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got distracted with that, but thank you, Six, for bringing that to my attention.
Thanks, Six.
So there's another development there. So we got one more from Slade Wilson. It says, "Oh yeah, fuck Latinx." That's from Mikey.
Thank you for your support.
Yes, thank you for your support. We appreciate that. On behalf of my Mexican brethren,
Which would be me.
sisters, well, you, of course, you. But as we said, we have another case here because, as like I said, it's one of those kind of days. We got another Murray who tells some dirty jokes. It's not Bill Murray, believe it or not. It's F. Murray Abraham,
Wow.
and he responds to being fired from Mythic Quest for alleged sexual misconduct.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys had heard about this or not.
Mm-mm.
This has kind of been developing over the last couple days here, but now we have a response from F. Murray, who made the mistake of apologizing.
He said, F that.
Well, he made the mistake of apologizing, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh, don't ever do that.
Yes, he says, "This is a sincere and deeply felt apology." He wrote, "Though never my intention to offend anyone, I told jokes, nothing more, that upset some of my colleagues, and as a result, lost a great job with wonderful people. I've
this is
grown
over
in my
jokes?
understanding from this experience, and I hope they will forgive me."
But those colleagues were in their early 20s.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was over jokes, Mike.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck.
They were
Tired of these.
below 25 assimilated.
Have a sense of humor around here.
And this
Anyone-
sounds just like the Bill Murray situation and some of the other
That's
shit.
what I was
And it's
about
like-
to say.
That's why
Oh
he's
my
brought that up.
God.
Well, no wonder Tom thinks I'm going to get our channels canceled with the way I behave.
Duh, if you're not gonna, I'll end up doing it, one or the other.
Oh, Lord.
Shit, what if Culture Casino files a harassment complaint against me?
I ain't worried about him.
Who?
I ain't worried about him. I'm more worried about like Six or somebody else.
Oh, well, I'll stop making jokes then.
Everybody cut
I
out
don't
the
think
joke.
so.
All right,
do that.
special announcement on me. Mexican Iron Man will no longer be funny on any station. Not Midnight Edge, not Midnight Edge After Dark. I will never hit on another female in all of YouTube ever again.
And
No, I
no
just
more
think-
jokes.
Yeah, this is just bullshit. I want to get your guys' assessment on this because yeah, this is just redonkulous.
Oh, God. Sexual.
Claudia, go
eh?
ahead.
Well, wait a minute. So he told jokes, got accused of a sexual misconduct. Conduct
that's a
and
bit-
jokes are two different things, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's a bit like kind of like with the Bill Murray situation. That's a bit
Yeah. Of course, these idiots today, if it's young enough, if they're young enough, they have no, really no way to discern nuance from anything or context. So to them, jokes could be construed as conduct because they're idiots. So yeah, I can see him telling some old man telling some inappropriate, quote unquote, inappropriate joke and getting accused of somehow having that accused of conduct somehow. So it's just pathetic. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but if it's jokes, they're words.
I'm getting pissed. You look, it's my God-given right to be able to grow up to be a dirty old man.
Yes,
I'm
they're trying to
supposed
ruin
to.
it for us.
Goddamn right. I'm supposed to be able to go when I'm like 80 years old because I'm no threat to anybody. Be able to go, hey, touch, and squeeze a few asses, okay? And that's
You
supposed to be okay.
You just squeezed my ass 10 minutes ago.
Alleged.
I do it all the time.
Tom squeezes my ass on these live streams all the time, hour after hour, week after week. Have I ever filed a sexual harassment complaint? Nope.
No, you like it.
Alleged.
I'm supposed to be able to walk up to some woman who's like half my age when I'm like 80 years old and go, I've been to Hawaii. You want to go? I'll take you. I'll take you to the island of a come on, I want to lay ya. And then she gets to go, you dirty old man, and throw my dinner down on the table and walk out of the nursing home room. Like, that's my God-given right as a dirty old man.
Exactly. According to this, he told jokes. They didn't this alleged. I mean, whoever wrote this headline says alleged sexual misconduct. I don't see any allegations.
Look, I get it. Some people get very uncomfortable around certain jokes and locker room talk. I'm not going to say that somebody doesn't have
They
the right
do.
to feel that way.
Yeah, thin-skinned idiots. Sorry.
But again, yeah, like go to go to the person and talk to them individually. Don't go to fucking HR.
Yeah.
Don't go to the boss. Come on, be a fucking. If they don't change after you ask them nicely and respectfully not to do that again in front of you, then do it.
Don't they have the inappropriate old uncle somewhere?
Yeah, well, that could open up some doors we don't want to go into, Clobby.
I'm just talking about jokes. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. But yeah, like, what the hell's wrong with some inappropriate jokes once in a while in front of adults? Who gives a fuck?
What about letting it go in one or out the other, and you don't give?
If that was the case,
you laugh. Right,
we'd all be fired or arrested for
Oh my
how many
God.
fucking jokes? Yeah,
it's
boom,
so
cancel.
ridiculous.
That's a very Demolition Man come to life scenario.
I'm looking at that guy, and if I don't hear an inappropriate joke from him, I'm disappointed. Look at him.
Yeah,
Good actor too, by the way.
Yeah, this just saddens me.
Yeah, me too.
Anybody else want to speak onto this? CC, you've been.
I dig Six's take in the chat.
Which one?
I've never reported anyone for inappropriate sexual jokes at work. I call them out and publicly humiliate them.
It's a
You
fair
could
call.
do that, or you could just, like I said, just take them aside privately and say, "Look, maybe feel a bit uncomfortable you telling that joke in front of me or in front of somebody else who's around. Like, could you appreciate not doing it when I'm around or when so and so's around?" And if they don't listen, then do that or go take it to a next level.
Right.
It's just we've gotten such a world of crybabies nowadays.
Apologies are getting a really bad name
because we
lately,
taught them to be crybabies.
Yeah.
A lot of the people amongst our age groups have been teaching them to that. Yes, you can cry your way into anything you want and get your way as long as you make enough noise, even if you're wrong. So yeah, and those are the type of people, the people who are around our age groups. We need to call them out for this stuff and then tell the next generation this is not how this works. And hopefully this scenario evens out, because this can only go so far. Even as dumb as this is, this can only go so far, because if they continue to allow this, eventually everyone's just gonna be fired from everything ever at every given point in time. And then what's the point? Like, just start everything back over and repeat the process, slowly build away. I don't know. I'm just this shit has to have a lid on it somewhere.
Oh yeah. Is there more to the story? Like they actually say what they think? He just says he told jokes. There, you got alleged sexual misconduct. I'm just curious.
Okay, well, exclusive story in Rolling Stone has revealed that F Murray Abraham stands for fuck, not this guy too. On April 17th, the magazine reported that F Murray Abraham's departure from the Apple TV Plus comedy series Mythic Quest in 2022 was a firing stemming from at least 2 separate allegations of sexual misconduct on the set. Someone involved in the production of the series said that after an unspecified first incident of reported inappropriate behavior, Abraham was told to keep away from some of the show's actresses and given a warning. See, they're making this sound very salacious. He was let go from the show after another incident was brought to the attention of the series creator and star Rob McKell, whatever his name is. Abraham played head video game writer C.W. Longbottom, himself a workplace pest. At the time of his dismissal from the series in April 2022, neither Lionsgate nor Abraham gave a statement about why Abraham was departing the series. Show wrapped up with the character's plotline in the season 3 premiere in November 2022, killing him off on an off-screen suicide that borrows heavily from Thelma and Louise and ends with him having his remains shot into space above the lake. So they tried to pull like they did with Charlie and
pulled a Roseanne is what they did.
And a Roseanne or whatever, yeah. But we recognize that CW is a beloved character and obviously a huge part of the show, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. In a statement to to Rolling Stone, a rep for Lionsgate said that we take allegations of misconduct seriously and investigate them thoroughly as a matter of corporate policy. We do not discuss our personal actions. Okay, so yeah, this to me, this is what I don't like. Is they're making this sound like something very salacious and using terms like misconduct and all that kind of crap. And look, I'm not going to say that, obviously, if somebody's clearly doing something they're not supposed to, assaulting somebody, doing something they're asked not to do physically or something like that, totally call them out or take legal action against them. But if somebody's telling an off-color fucking joke, get over it. The dude's 83 goddamn years old. Like, who the fuck's he going to hurt?
And he's saying, I just told jokes. They're not saying anything. So this story is
Exactly.
weird. Because, like, you know, they're not saying. I guess they won't. They just say alleged sexual misconduct. I don't know. It just aggravates me that we go. Well, he just says he told jokes, and I tend to believe him because he's just an old man. What is he? He's 83 years old. Did he pinch somebody? Maybe.
I don't even
And he
think he
shouldn't
did
do that.
anything like that.
I don't think he did either. You know, but if he did, he shouldn't. But if he just told some jokes, Jesus Christ.
I know. It's getting ridiculous. I'm getting sick. And until they start providing me with any kind of more proof or
Right.
actual named allegations, I'm not going to believe it's anything more than what these people say when they come out and say. Just like with Bill Murray. I told an off-color joke that somebody didn't think was funny, or something that I thought was funnier when I was a young man isn't anymore, something like that. You know, I'm just going to believe him. Fuck it. Why shouldn't I? You're not going to show me anything else.
I'm going to believe Murray. I'm going to believe Murray Abraham because they don't give you anything else to go on.
Fucking A right. He's F. Murray Abraham. Oh, I know, Jonah. They don't give a fuck if you're dead and in the grave and can't defend yourself.
Very true.
And can't even apologize to him. Because even if you did it, what good is it going to do? And I wish he hadn't, because it's not going to make a difference. They're still going to try and cancel
Don't
him.
apologize unless he thinks it's going to affect him getting more work, which is probably what he is.
At this point, he's 83 goddamn years old. Who gives a fuck? I'd be like, you know what?
Exactly.
Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, get away from the crybabies.
Be like,
Yeah,
let's see
F.
how
Murray.
great this show is without me.
Yeah.
He's
Idiots.
probably the only one on the show I've ever heard of.
Probably. That's pathetic.
Well, it's kind of like the Kiki Palmer bullshit. Who the fuck is Kiki Palmer? An actress who's been trying for 10, 15, 20 years and never gone anywhere. But she takes precedent over Bill Murray.
Who? Kiki what?
That's the one who made the accusations on Bill Murray.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of her.
And from what
No,
we
me
heard,
either.
if it's even true what the other part was, it didn't even have not a goddamn thing to do with her.
Oh, God.
So whether you believe that part or not, it's a matter of whatever at this point, because
She must also be under 25.
no, she's a little older than that, but she's still in
That's-
that woke percentile.
To be assimilated, you have to be under 25.
Irate specialist on that note says, I've been asking Tom to grab my ass and he hasn't yet. Can I file suit for not harassing me? He asks you, Mike.
Yes, you can. That's a new deal. You can do that. I've
Can
heard.
you really?
Yeah, I was looking into my, the legal statutes, just the updates
Kind of
of them.
reminds me of that
just
episode
now,
of South Park where Mr. Garrison gets pissed because his dad didn't do stuff to him when he was a kid. You never loved me.
Wow.
Oh, they couldn't do that now.
Shit.
Well, they could.
They could, but they're the only ones.
Well, they could.
They're the only ones. Matt and
I know.
Trey are the only ones that can do it.
But I'm sure that Mikey's
If
got Go ahead, Dick.
I was gonna say if Matzo and Trey Parker are brand new today, it definitely would not fly.
Oh,
They're
hell
they're
too well
grandfathered
connected
in.
because of how long they've been at the game. Probably even the same thing can be said about Mike Judge, even too. Those guys have been at so long
Yeah,
that
they're
they're
grandfathered in. Yeah.
so well connected, and they can be in the position that they're in without having to compromise per se.
You got it, D-Bud. No, you're right, man. Absolutely right.
Yeah. All right, folks. I'm sure Mikey's got some work to do, and I know we've got another show coming up here. That reminds me, I forgot to connect to it. I'll do that now. So I'm gonna try and
You want me
hop
to
in
get you
on
the link?
Thursday night.
I'll get you the link.
But I think I
got
might
you,
need to go to
dude.
bed, dude.
Go get
I
some
know.
rest there,
You gotta
Tomer.
Go to bed. Go to bed.
Get some rest, buddy.
Yeah, get some rest, Tom, and don't be streaming another 40 hours today.
Yeah.
All right,
No, Tom should go for a walk and work out that burger.
dude.
got
Just
a
go
point.
to sleep for 1 hour, and then come on to TNT.
No,
we'll let you
no.
on.
Go to bed, Tom, and wake up in 9 hours. No.
But Tom doesn't sleep that long.
All right, I got it here. It's set to go. Send you guys all over there. So I know that's where Nick's headed to. Oh, Jesus Davila sent us
Yes,
a
sir.
Hey.
super sticker. Probably a thumbs up. I don't have it up here. I think it's a thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. And thank you, Jesus. We appreciate that. And what's this here, Nick? Oh, that's the link. Okay. Well, we'll throw it in the chat too, but I did I did manage to connect it, so this will send you right over there afterwards. Like I said, I don't know if I'll stop in tonight or not. I've only been up for 10 hours, but I didn't go to bed till late last night, and I did not sleep well. I just need a nap, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's go around the horn. Nick, you're going to be over on Comics Division, right?
Yes, sir. Thursday night throwdown tonight, and tomorrow, of course, the comic shop talk. We'll be talking part 2 of our Adam Warlock saga, which, as you know, whoever watches that show on Friday nights, Clobber and Times is with me on that. And next week, Death Wish for Toxic Tuesday, and I'll have a video out by Monday or Tuesday as well. And of course, you can find me here on MEAD Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thanks for having me, Tom. Good to hang out with you, Mike, Karaoke, Clobby, and Mr. Casino as always. And to our excellent chat and to our wrenches for wrenching. Thank you guys. You all have a good evening if you're not going to be there for TNT. So if you're going to be at Clobby's Hub House, stick with that. If you're a TNTer, I'll see you there. Thank you.
Later, bub.
All right, and I accidentally missed this one. I'm sorry, Action Com. He sent in $10 and says, because Baldwin did not have a trial, he will claim to the end of time that the hammer slipped out of his thumb and the gun went off. I don't believe it. Yeah, this is again going back to what I was saying before, Action Com. If his lawyers were smart, they'd have told him, shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. All you have to say is, I am so sorry this tragedy happened. I hope we can get to the bottom of what went wrong or anything. Don't even say that. Just say, I'm so sorry about this tragedy and say nothing else.
Yeah.
And leave it at that until it's all said and done and over with. Then do your 2020 fucking interview special. Even then, I don't think he should have. I think he should have just kept his goddamn mouth shut. But that's just me. But no, I get you, Action Com. It's kind of shitty. CC, what isn't shitty is you've been doing some interviews and you just did a video thing last night, I saw.
Yeah. Oh, we got a few ideas in cooking. Friday night karaoke is obviously the regular thing. We got a series of interviews going on Wednesdays now, hopefully, depending on who we can get on. And also looking at broadcasting from a live venue that will start planned next Thursday. So I'll mention that again next week. But we're thinking about actually just broadcasting from a venue. That's something I wanted to do for a long time. It's like bands on stage, cameras, and just live stream it to the internet. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So that. Along with your usual karaoke on Friday nights.
Right. And I try to be there. So thank you, CC, for being here. And Kalabi, what do you got coming up?
Well, just a little over an hour at 9 p.m. Central. The Clobby's Clubhouse will be in session with my wonderful first officer, Raquel, and our great chief engineer, Mark D. with the C. And that'll be a lot of fun. We'll have some great fun on that, as we always do on Thursday nights. And tomorrow night, I'll be hanging out with Nick and the gang at the comic shop, reviewing Warlocks, Jim Starlin's Warlock review, Warlock run, and it was great stuff. And then Saturday night, Star Trek at 9 Central. Raquel and I will be reviewing 4 more episodes of Deep Space Nine on Saturday night Star Trek there. So thanks for having me, buddy. I really appreciate it. And cool hanging out with all my good friends here on the MEAD. Thank you, buddy. And thank you out there in the chat.
Well, we always love having you. And Mikey, I know you think you're not a YouTuber, but you are the best
I'm not.
of us. What do you got coming up?
Nothing. No late show tomorrow night. And see you next week on MEAD.
All right, quick and to the point. Well, we have a morning show tomorrow.
Go to Midnight's Edge in the morning.
Well, if I don't make it on comics, I'll see him tomorrow morning because he's going to be on Midnight's Edge in the morning tomorrow.
Who?
So, Comics Division.
Oh,
he's our.
I like him. He's a good guy.
Yes, indeed. And next week we got Carrie Smith coming on.
I like her. She's a good girl.
She is
Yes.
really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
awesome. So yeah, I can't wait for that. So with that, we'll say have a good one, kids. Take care of yourselves and each other, and don't forget to feed your pets.
Goodbye.
Put the cookie down.